everyone knows if you're watching on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, or the X, be commenting along, streaming, we're streaming. Like, comment, do all the fucking shit. All the shit you're supposed to do. But if you comment, we'll comment along with you. So feel free to do whatever you need to do in the live chat.
Why do we have to feel the need to like even advertise the thing that everybody knows
Because
everybody
because you just
else?
got it. It's just
So
101, right? It's 101. Listen.
it's fucking dumb. It's
Today
controlled.
on the show, just so everyone knows what we're going to be getting into on the show. I like when everyone knows. Mysterious deaths surrounding Boeing whistleblowers. It's now Boeing 2 whistleblower 0. We're gonna get into Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro / Daily Wire because that whole thing has a new twist in the saga. Donald Trump potentially stripped of his authorities on January 6th. No big deal. That was before he was not. He was still president. Let's just put it that way. Going to get into some leaked emails proving more government censorship, as if we need more documentation. But I feel like we've proven it, but people still don't know. People still.
It's how you talk government censorship and then a loose connection. Live, live it live. Live it live, I'm out.
Had a little bit of a network glitch. Gonna get Ryan back on the program here. We often joke that we have Ryan's got Ukrainian internet and I got internet from the Gaza Strip. So as soon as he gets back on, we're gonna get back into it. That was my internet. Just shut right off.
For those keeping tally at home, I'm still way ahead of Dave. So
What do you thinking, Ryan? What do we get into?
we
We've
need
made everyone.
to live
We've
together.
made everyone. We do what?
Yeah, we'll live together and we'll build a studio.
I like it. What are we getting into, Ryan? We've made everyone wait long enough.
Probably bees. Then probably bees. They have honey. Living together, commune.
On the show, Ryan. On the show. Stay focused.
For fuck's sake, January. Let's start with the big boy, Trump J6.
You want to start with J6? By the way, Trump will be at the Libertarian National Convention.
Sounds very fascist.
Enough. I don't know. Like, does that almost make go? Kind of.
Super want to go see Tim Pool in a beanie and a suit.
Dude, the beanie he's all about the beanie. All right, here it is.
What's that even
Listen,
mean?
wrap foil around your doorknobs, Ryan. Here's what we got. DC National Guard whistleblower, I'm sure he'll end up suicided, claims Trump was stripped of his commander-in-chief powers on January 6th. We'll go a little bit down here, but he claims that Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff at the time, and then Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy, were plotting to disobey any orders handed down by Trump because they, quote, unreasonably assumed that the then president was going to break the law and try to use DC National Guard to stop certification of the 2020 presidential election results. It's a hell of a way to start the show, Ryan.
So they thought because Trump was maybe going to use the National Guard that they stripped him of all presidential powers, basically from January 6th forward.
They were planning to disobey any orders he may have carried out. For example, say...
David, so you're telling me that there's people in the government that would defy a direct order from the highest person in possible command, allegedly, in the entire United States?
Apparently.
It's kind of odd. I thought you don't normally disobey a direct order from a president of the United States, David. Surely if Biden called me, I would have to pick up the telephone. I can't wait to speak with him at the White House personally. Face to face, of course. Very nicely.
I don't know what to really make of this, Ryan. I mean, here's what potentially could be the biggest issue, right? What we heard about January 6th is that Trump constantly called for support to help, right? Because the protests had gotten out of hand at that point. And he thought he needed to support for help. Who he needed to contact was Nancy Pelosi because apparently she was in charge of the Capitol Police, being that she is in her position. And Nancy Pelosi refused to bring in the National Guard. So Trump was left in an area where he couldn't call the National Guard because they were disobeying his orders. And Nancy Pelosi wouldn't call in the Capitol Police because she wanted there to be protesting.
But then it was Trump that there was violent protesters at the Capitol on January 6th.
Well, yes, because he very clearly stated.
So if he was to use his power to quell the protest, the mostly peaceful protest, of course, of the very people that were supposed to be his supporters, right, Mr. Fascist. Yeah. So because of the thought of him maybe using that for the other thing, they directly defied his orders.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, that's what makes sense to me.
It's also interesting I'm hearing about this during the next election year and not like January 7th. You know,
well, the whistleblower just came out, Ryan. So
yeah, I was sure it was very coincidence.
I don't know. I mean, is that what it seems like? It seems like they wanted it to seem like a. I mean,
like it's Trump's fault, but they tied Trump's hands. Like isn't that basically like the synonymous here is like he couldn't even call the police if he wanted to because the people that are in charge of the police said that they are gonna disobey him if he tries to call the police because they thought that if he did call the police it would be to stop the election verification process instead of the protesters that were breaking into the most violent day since 9/11. Ben Shapiro.
Sure, but let's you can even take it a little bit further than that even because what do we know from released footage that we may or may not have talked about on the show from the CIA director? or employee of some type, not the director, but he was some employee of the CIA.
One of the 12 million government employees.
There were there were known feds in the January 6th protests. So what you have is concoction for what got out of hand, which is feds infiltrating the peaceful protest. You have the president who's not allowed to call in the National Guard to help prevent the protests. And then you have Nancy Pelosi, who's in charge of the Capitol Police, saying that she's not going to send in any extra help. So it seems
And
like
then
the
they
Capitol
blame
Police
Trump for
get
it.
overrun.
And then they blame
Meanwhile,
Trump for it. And then
yes,
impeach him. And then impeach him.
yeah, that's right. It seems like an orchestrated incident the more you read into it.
Yeah, I'm sure this is completely normal and completely a normal thing in a functioning democracy across all of human history, Dave. I'm sure any other time this has happened, it's ended well for the people that are subjugated to their rulers at such a level. It's crazy.
Well, let's not forget either. Trump did have the dog whistle on that day where he did say to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard, which obviously everyone knew meant violently protest.
Well, they took it off the internet, so I couldn't even remember what he said for like a year. But Dave, quick question: have we been banned about January 6th yet on YouTube?
On YouTube?
Yeah, personally.
Can't remember if January 6th was one of the reasons we got a video taken down.
All right, gotcha. Here we go. This is the one. They purposely infiltrated January 6th with the Proud Boys so that they could blame Trump and impeach him, so that he would even continuously further lose. And impeaching was like a legal proceeding. It was.
Ryan,
Do you remember
for that to be true, the Proud Boys would have to be infiltrated by feds.
Oh, like the biker gangs that were impenetrable?
Oh wait, actually, we did a story about the Proud Boys who were infiltrated by feds. Never mind, you're right. They were infiltrated by feds.
Why
Just
wouldn't
like
they?
Patriot Front is a bunch of feds, just like the whatever Nazi group is a bunch of feds.
Why wouldn't they be? Doesn't it make fucking sense? You ever hear the stories about the feds come up to arrest other people that are buying drugs, and then the guys buying the drugs are the cops, and then the feds and the...
I want to say it was DL Hughley. He shared a post on X, and it was something like, "Black whatever, violently arrested by police, racist whatever, blah 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 blah." But like the whole thing was like the only people who don't get violently arrested are white supremacists, and I was like, that's because they're all feds. The KKK doesn't exist anymore. Has anyone
or David, clearly their robes are so clean they have trouble identifying the people from each other.
That must be it. Has anyone truthfully ask yourself, does anybody know anybody who's in the KKK, or does anyone know anyone who's racist? I'll even go that far back. Like truly racist. Doesn't say not says racy jokes. I'm saying a true physical racist, like by definition racist.
Well, I know, like
I am superior because I am white. Don't cut that. Don't clip that, everyone. Don't take that out of context.
David, we're live here.
Don't take it out of context.
Yeah. The one time you get us banned is the one that gets everything deleted.
It's gonna, we should make that a reel on Facebook. It's going to be me. I'm superior because I am white.
That was great. Yeah, here's the January 6th ban. They infiltrated to impeach Trump so that he lost legal proceedings and federal powers and protections and Secret Service. And I don't know what happens when you get impeached. I would love to, ask a legal scholar, I guess, or somebody out there should, Tucker, go ask a legal scholar about like what actually happens when a president's impeached legally. Because I remember when all that went down, everybody said, including us here at the greatest podcast history podcast weekly show, that it is just ceremonial, right? Is that it wasn't easily going to be removed from power or anything. It's kind of like the Bill Clinton thing. And I just think it's very interesting. Like, I'm supposed to think that it's just coincidence. The more of this. Now, granted, I've read enough Tom Clancy books to know that this is like, anybody half aware could see this. The fact is they fucking impeached him over shit that they made up.
Well,
this is like when Tucker was, this is like when Tucker
twice, because the if I'm not mistaken, the Russian dossier was one of the impeachments, and that was funded by a Hillary Clinton campaign. And then Hillary Clinton's campaign, for those who don't remember, they got a slap on the wrist fine because their campaign funding was misdirected. That's
Yeah,
all that came from that.
yeah, campaign finance violation. But Trump is a hush money for misuse of federal funding of campaign finances. But Hillary Clinton literally did the exact same thing.
Go, everyone watching, go look it up. I'm not going to look it up
Do
for
you?
you. We already did
And
this
also,
show.
do you remember how everybody said it's the party of Trump? Right. This is the thing. Like, we've never been a big Trump dick sucker, but like, it's the party of Trump, and Trump's this tyrant of a person bossing everybody around. Well, if
No,
everybody said that
we've always defined ourselves as Trump defenders. I mean, we're not avid supporters by any means. I mean, there's
I'm a,
plenty wrong with him.
I'm a super big listener of, if we send somebody there to disrupt the power system and nobody in the power system listens to him, we should probably support that guy more. Like, they don't like him disrupting the power system. Like, I don't understand how. This is why I think the election was stolen as well. Like, to be honest, you did steal votes with machines. That's why you like shut it down, because you fucking set up Trump to be impeached so that you could discredit him and take legal authority from him. And I watched you do it. I listened that day. I was actually supposed to go.
Not to mention, you could say with the machines and all that, but then there was of course, the Hunter Biden and in the way the government infiltrated all the social media companies.
Dude, and then they built a wall around government when they took power. When Biden took power, he built a wall around the interior spec of the White House so it wouldn't happen.
Well, you could just climb that wall. You just ladders or dig under it. Remember, that's what they said about the southern border.
We don't need a border wall. We'll just build a wall outside the White House, though.
Right. This is important.
Freedom of speech zones exist. People look those ones up because they happen in New York all the time. You're only allowed to protest in this little area.
You want to talk about how they steal an election? This is it. The new 800-page report exposes the Biden White House censorship regime, features internal emails and texts from Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon, and YouTube employees.
Is this the bullshit GOP on there, even though they voted for it, like Dan Kershaw?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Warrantless FISA taps and all this. Yeah, sure. Yeah, they want the government to be big, but then they complain when the government's big. Well,
like, we can't afford this. Be like, well, you fucking voted for it. You literally voted to spy on me, but then you tell me you're for my rights. Yeah, we're for your Second Amendment rights, but not your Fourth Amendment rights. Or oh my God, look at this.
There's leaked emails, everybody. It's literally, I mean, we're not going to go through all of them, but just so everyone can see what this looks like, feel free. The links are in the description. But yeah, look at this. Mark Zuckerberg, this is to Mark Zuckerberg from Blackbox at facebook.com. Oh, look at all these tagged. This guy's not protected. Yeah.
Hey,
I love this.
That's what democracy is like.
CC, Nick Clegg, they got all their names, but they took their emails out in some cases.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because they could probably track their IP address with other fucking kitty porn and them little prey. Oh my God.
Listen, watch this right here. In February 2021, in response to continued public pressure and tense conversations with the new administration, we started removing the 5 COVID claims that had been repeatedly debunked, 3 PFCs, and then 8 claims that we had identified in partnership with the WHO, CDC, and other public health authorities. Before COVID is widely debunked, vaccine misinformation, which we'll get into later on the show, all the misinformation that we were right about. You asked us at the time to review the decision later to determine if we should revert to reduce and inform. So really, there's piles of these leaked emails, but what they're saying is not only is the federal government involved, but the WHO, the CDC, WHO, World Health Organization, and World Economic Forum, I think, is in part of this as well. So it means not only is the federal government interfering in our free speech, but global powerhouses, if whatever you want to call these entities, like the World Health Organization, it's globalism, is what it is. Involved in censoring our speech as well.
We were told it was inevitable, David. Wonder why they
that was by the democratically elected Chinese ruler for life.
Yeah, president for life.
Nope. Why are we're getting invaded?
Studio sacred.
Good night. Studio sacred. The door doesn't even close.
Democratically elected president for life, David. You said it wrong. People's Republic, but they're communist.
Crazy. But people still act like this isn't happening. I mean, how many more pieces of evidence do people need that the government clearly violated the First Amendment? This isn't just private platforms choosing to
Well, how do we
apply
hold a
rules.
global entity responsible, David? We can't even get the countries in the United Nations to quote pay their fair share.
Well, the only way the global entity has any power is if over us is if our government falls in line.
But our government does fall in line, David. And not only
Well,
does our government fall
that's
in line,
exactly.
every corporation and every business in the states fall in line with them too. When they have no authority over you, it's just proxy ruling. Every business is essential. That was the talking point. You remember that they said that you were killing people's grandparents, and now I have $7 loaves of bread and microplastics
This
and
is my
turbo can.
problem with this is my problem with the TikTok ban because it doesn't. It's
It makes me
well, we
think
don't want
TikTok actually
the,
had
Chi- the
real information on there. I was shit talking TikTok the whole time, and here it is. Like, it might actually be the one thing that allowed information loosely.
no, the Chinese government. You don't want Chinese government to have information or access to your information. Correct. I don't want the Chinese
Right.
government to have it. I don't want the American government to have it. I want my private information to be private.
Well, Dave, it's not like they have access to your medical records or anything. That
Do
would
we,
be a
do we
travesty, David.
do we just do it? I want to get into Boeing, but I can't. We can't not talk the vaccine right now.
I swear, if anybody in my family dies, I'm going down to the vaccine manufacturer and having a very nice talk with these people.
Well, you've been
I,
lucky so far.
I swear, if I even hear the word turbo cancer or some, super rare malignant fucking crazy targeted thing, I swear to God, it's going to be a very nice conversation with these people. David, I hope you're there too. I'll pick you up.
I'll
I
be
won't
there.
be going to work. I got a rare blood clot.
In a first, AstraZeneca admits its COVID vaccine can cause rare blood clots.
It's so
I
rare you
do
have to admit that they happen.
I do want to go through this.
Since last night.
Pharmaceutical giant AstraZeneca has admitted that its widely used COVID vaccine, branded Covishield.
Widely used. You mean forced on you because you were killing people's grandparents? Are you fucking serious? I'm just supposed to sit here and take a proxy war?
Well,
This
it
was
was
CIA
widely
funded,
used.
David. This fucking paperwork was CIA written. This was ran through the CIA filter to make sure that this was greenlit enough to propagandize the widely used. Are you kidding? You offer people Big Macs for free to get the fucking vaccine. Widely used. People were, yep, we got to take this to get back to normal. We're still not back to normal. Sorry, David. The next
Sorry.
vaccine will be World Health Organization in 557 millimeter increments at fucking 1,000 yards.
Covishield can cause rare side effects, including blood clots and low platelet count, which I'm not a doctor, but isn't that cancer?
Sounds like AIDS. Low platelet count. AIDS. The fucking body just stops making plates. Yeah,
So
you're
AIDS,
just
so it gives you blood clots, AIDS, and cancer,
and super cancer.
turbo cancer.
Hey, but we have
Oh,
this one pharmaceutical company that was greenlit, David, to stop the turbo cancer in its tracks.
oh, by the way, did you see the Pfizer CEO?
No,
He said
did he kill himself too?
this was from a long time ago. Remember? Okay, so keep this in mind. But this was a headline that came back up because of all this. I saw from November 9th of 2021, the Pfizer CEO said people who spread vaccine disinformation. Pfizer CEO says people who spread vaccine disinformation are criminals.
Yeah, we should beat this guy up. Beat him up. I'm calling to violence, you two. Fuck you, you fucking pricks. This guy's giving turbo cancer and microplastics to my entire family. I'm just supposed to sit here and peacefully protest from my smartphone that is fucking throttled by an algorithm written by the very people that are told to push the information to me, and then I'm told it's disinformation when I try to speak out against the information that I'm told to believe.
That's right.
But the government didn't violate my free speech, David. It was just a corporation that was forced by global entities that are empowered by our federal government. It wasn't written by our federal government, David. It was just funded, enforced, and produced by very entities in our federal government at global corporate boards.
Here's
Did
a
I miss
question.
something? And there's
Well,
secret courts for these fucks. So when they do kill you, you can't even tell anybody about it because you're sworn to secrecy, even though we're told they're good for you. Because quote, it would do a greater good than bad. You're out of your fucking
that was
mind.
the
This is
biggest
comic
that was the biggest mistake of the Reagan administration by far.
fucking pricks. This guy literally just gave these guys license to kill after Nuremberg violation. They forced you to get a vaccine, and then I'm still told that it's widely used 4 years later. Widely used. You literally we didn't force you. We just fired you or fined you or we psychological warfared you or told you were killing your grandparents, even though you isolated them so they died alone. Very nice of you to keep them all alone dying when their families outside pounding on the window to give them some connection before they leave this earth from a thing made in a fucking lab that was produced by my tax dollars. But there was no NIH funding, Mr. Rand Paul.
Mr. Paul.
Dave, am I missing stuff or am I just a misinformation conspiracy god that just makes it all up on the fly? This is ridiculous. The guy that wrote this, honestly, what is this? The Independent, this guy should get the shit beat out of him too. For like, this is insulting. I'm not, dude, this is like you catching your wife.
Right.
No, this is Ben Shapiro catching me in bed with his wife and then him saying, nah, it never happened. You're out of your fucking mind. I'm a grown man. I wouldn't tolerate this from anybody in my family. I'm just supposed to go to work. I'm just supposed to. And I'm a keyboard warrior. I'm just a keyboard warrior.
Brian, we're only one paragraph in.
Dude, nobody knows even. Nobody. I'm the keyboard warrior. I don't even. It takes me 6 months to get a story to even be able to be mad about it. But I'm the keyboard warrior.
It's gonna get worse, Ryan. I promise. Just wait.
David, I'm fucking pissed off.
Covishield was developed by British-Swedish company in collaboration with the Oxford University in UK and produced by Serum Institute of India.
CERN.
It was widely
CERN. CERN.
CERUM. SERUM. Serum. It was widely administered in 150 countries, including Britain and India. Some studies conducted during the pandemic found the vaccine was 60 to 80% effective. So there you go, Ryan. It was on the low end, more than
Dave,
one out of every two people.
I wonder if they pulled the same amount of studies as they did for the vaccines as they did for the economy when it came to Nobel Peace Prize winning economists saying that the economy is doing wonderful. They asked 2 and they don't survey the other 102. Some studies like I would love to define some and it'd say between 1 and 1 million and then go ask this prick at the Independent. How many studies, dude? Some of them.
You just have to trust the science, Ryan. Some studies.
It's so effective that it doesn't even register on the map. Yeah, vaccine's effective. We don't even know what variant of the COVID there is, but they told you that the vaccine was targeted to fight against the variant. Which doesn't happen. From my understanding, it's not how it works.
I'll never forget the day that I was in the hospital and he said, "Oh, you got Omicron." Or no, what he said was, "You probably have Omicron because that's the one that's going around." That's what he said. He didn't say it definitively in any way. He was like, "Oh, it's probably Omicron." I was like, "You just ran the test. Doesn't tell you." Yeah.
Dave, I threw up from COVID, and that's not even a symptom. Tested positive. Did you test yourself? I have symptoms non-COVID related. Well, everything's in COVID. Super scientific, though. Ultimate scientific going on right now. Can't ask any questions about it, or it's disinformation. But everything they say is scientific. It's just killing grandma all alone with turbo cancer. Sorry, Dave.
You're good. However, research since found that Covishield can cause some people to develop blood clots, which may prove fatal, aka they killed people. A class action lawsuit was filed.
You either die or get a stroke. It's really not that. It's not that bad.
A class action lawsuit filed in the UK claimed that the vaccine led to deaths and severe injuries and sought damages of up to I think that's 100 million pounds. I'm not British, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is for about 50 victims.
It's still not enough. And first of all, I'm gonna watch the bankrupt Trump, but I'm supposedly the vaccine company's gonna pay out 50 million or 100 million pounds to 50 people. You're out of your mind.
I mean, yeah, 2 million quid each is
Dude,
what
next
that would
time,
be.
dude, they're gonna tell me it's my fault that I got poisoned by the vaccine company in 20 years. Did you take the vaccine that you weren't supposed to take, but they told you to not take it, but you had to take it? You can call fucking Ryan and Dave for free law advice.
One of the complainants alleged that the vaccine caused him a permanent brain injury after he developed a blood clot preventing him from working.
Borrow 5K to 100K with a SoFi premium loan. Fuck you.
Oh,
At
here,
what, 100%
listen,
interest? And just keep re-rolling debt. It's unbelievable.
it goes even further. The World Health Organization's involved, and they confirmed that Covishield can have life-threatening side effects. A very rare adverse event called, oh fucking hell, no way I can say that, thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome, involving unusual and severe blood clotting events associated with low platelet counts, has been reported after vaccination with this vaccine.
You know, it's kind of odd that it's like, oh, it's super rare. Like it probably never happened before in
Oh,
measurables.
don't worry. Here comes the classic line from the WHO. In countries with ongoing SARS-CoV-2 transmission, the benefit of the vaccination in protecting against COVID-19 far outweighs the risks. I don't know if that's true. I
Yeah,
really don't.
dropping the A-bomb was worth it, Dave.
As somebody who had COVID, I'd rather have what I had than die.
What do you mean, David? You're not. The
I had the
shits,
sniffles for
and the
I had the
sniffles
sniffles
is
for a
not as
week.
bad as a blood clot, David. Clearly, a blood
No.
clot. You are a conspiracy theorist, David. You must work out, Dave, if you think a blood clot's not as bad. Blood clot's really not that bad, Dave. Like
I
headache,
had, I had
way
this
worse.
I had the sniffles for a week. That sounds
Dude,
way better than death.
dude, I don't know. You might have some slight irritation around the place where the vaccine happened. You might have to take a nap and like drink some orange juice, and you might die in 6 to 9 months when you try to run and tackle somebody in a football game and just coincidentally get hit in the perfect spot when your heart is on the downbeat of some kind of electromagnet charge that is 0.0 triple milliseconds and die. Remember what I'm talking about, David? It's the Damar Hamlin thing. They said like the
Yeah.
probability of it happening.
Mhm.
Watched it
Yeah,
die.
which was none.
It was like
Yeah.
smaller than
Yeah,
zero.
what's more rare, someone dying on the field during a football game because of a collision or getting this side effect? 'Cause I bet the side effect is much less rare.
Dave, well, I'm sure that side effect that happened to Damar Hamlin in a football game, that type of collision is very rare as well. So like it's almost not measurable.
A tackle.
A tackle, yeah, is very
That's
rare.
rare.
It
That's
has
rare
to
in
be.
football.
David,
Many
it
there's
has to
there's
be.
players, like, really good players have, like, over 10 in a game.
Well, that type of tackle, David, the hip drop, horse lock, horse
Nope,
collar, five
nope,
star tackle.
he had his yep. Nope.
Clearly, David, it's not like Pfizer influenced the NFL to keep their mouth shut. And even when Damar Hamlin was asked in an interview, he was said that he won't answer it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, when they cut the camera to make it look like he maybe didn't answer, but they just changed the camera angle, like a reshot after they didn't like the first dance. Sorry, Dave, I'm pontificating here. Dude, these guys are killing your grandparents. I'm just waiting.
Uh,
I'm fucking driving down there. I swear they better have every security guard there because I'm gonna talk to all of them very nicely.
well, speaking of killing your grandparents, they're also killing your actual parents, if your
Oh,
actual parents worked for Boeing.
second bullet was a
Uh,
short illness. They just poisoned his coffee. Yeah, dude, we bought
the
donuts
sec
for everybody. You should try some. Those
the
donuts were
second
balls.
Boeing
Super good.
whistleblower has also died. Ryan, do you remember when the Russian, like, scientist or whatever,
Fell to
the
his death.
do you remember the
Killed
headline? It
himself. He
was
was in
like
the bed.
he was he was found dead in his apartment or something.
Strangled. Right, was it this?
The Russian, he was like a part of the vaccine, I think. And the headline came out that the Russian doctor was found dead But if you actually read the article, he was strangled to death, which admittedly are two
It's like
very
3
different things.
paragraphs. Like half a cell phone scroll, you'd see the guy was strangled.
Now, me personally, if I was writing the article, I'd say I wouldn't say he was found dead. I would say he was strangled to death.
I would use like, I don't know, murdered, maybe murdered. Strangled. He
But
was
that
found
brings us
inside a
back.
garbage bag, taped up. He was all alone. Strangled.
Ryan, that brings us back to Boeing. Now two of the
Oh
whistleblowers have
my
both
god. Dude.
been
It's
found
like
dead, you could say.
Russian billionaire falls to his death. Scroll down. Yeah, he jumped at 12. Oh, what? Oh my god.
Joshua Dean, 45, the former quality auditor at Boeing
Oh, just the
suppliers,
quality guy.
Spirit
The whistle
Aerosystems,
fucking.
alleged gross misconduct by
Oh
quality
yeah, just
management.
yeah. Bowen's fucking really shit in the bed. Who is he? He's probably He's probably the janitor at the company, David. Clearly, nope. Had a quality control.
In 2018 and 2019, two 737 MAX planes were involved in fatal crashes, which killed 346 people. Dean was fired by Spirit last year and filed a complaint with the Department of Labor alleging his termination was in retaliation for raising safety concerns. According to the Seattle Times, Dean was hospitalized after trouble breathing. He was intubated and developed pneumonia and a serious infection before dying 2 weeks later.
Terrible cancer. Just pneumonia, David.
Just a little pneumonia and pneumonia and a serious infection. That is,
I'm sure his
like,
wife
in
left up
the
after Boeing fired him. I'm sure he doesn't have any loved ones.
in the first guy, if I'm not mistaken, he committed suicide. Ryan, is that the story?
Yeah, I think they found him in his truck or something.
But so the guy who committed suicide too. Let's go back to that one just to remind everyone. They found him with a gunshot wound. They said he committed suicide. Before committing suicide, he decided to leak all this information. He scheduled and planned like several other um, like speaking tours and airtime on shows and things like that. So he scheduled all these events and then killed himself.
Yeah, it's what everybody does, David.
Okay, that was the first guy. The second guy came out and then developed pneumonia out of the blue and an infection and died.
Yeah, Dave. He was just a janitor at Boeing, though. It's not that important.
No, he was the no. He was the quality control, well, quality auditor at Boeing.
Oh, so like the guy that like when something's not correct, like he would be the actual guy to submit the information, like he audits safety.
Yeah, that sounds like what he would do.
Just an infection.
We're supposed to believe it's all coincidence, though, Ryan.
For the record, if you look up the church committee hearings, that's the name on YouTube. They're from the 70s or 80s. And you can look it up that they talk and discuss about a heart attack gun.
Yep.
That
But he didn't have a heart attack. Don't worry.
I'm sure they have the same exact technology, David, just like we don't have the technology back to the moon, but my cell phone got a lot smarter.
Well, Ryan, what are you insinuating? They gave him a virus? How would the government give somebody a virus?
I don't know, David. At some point, I wonder if they can just switch the hertz on your phone and give you the virus.
He should have just had a pneumonia vaccine. He would have been fine.
What if I get pneumonia after getting the vaccine, David?
He would have just died from a blood clot.
Well, I'll sue the company, right?
But this is fucking crazy. I will. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that this is all coincidence. I don't know why this one.
Well, these people do know exactly what they're not doing, David. It's clearly Veep, David. I mean, I'm told by very intelligent people all the time, like the most intelligent guy in some people's point of view, and very specific issues. He says it's all Veep. This is not the house of cards that we are told. We're told that it's all. He doesn't use disinformation, but he tries to tell you that information is not correct. You need to come to me for the correct information.
Are you talking about this guy?
Yeah, I didn't know he was black.
The Not Simon Atiba. The Daily Wire secretly sought and obtained a gag order against Candace Owens while it publicly negotiated a debate between her and Ben Shapiro.
So they debated, and then she couldn't talk about it.
No, they never debated.
And then she couldn't talk about how she couldn't talk about the debate.
Well, she couldn't talk about debating, and she couldn't debate because she was restricted from debating while they tried to get her to debate. So they
Isn't he
publicly
the debate guy too? He like got famous by debating college
he
campus
did.
kids.
Yeah.
That's weird. You kind of think
Yeah.
he'd be ready for that.
Yeah, you think he'd be able to debate. Yeah, so
Candace,
they were trying to get her debate while publicly shaming her for not debating, while privately not allowing her to debate, is my take on this. That's what it seems like to me.
do we expect anything less from that spineless bastard? Serious question.
I don't. I don't know at what point. At what point are you
I mean,
just
he
done with
fucked
Daily Wire?
everybody
Like,
in the right wing over. He fucked everybody in the right wing over. Steven Crowder, Candace Owens. Well, I'm supposed to believe Dave Rubin. That everything's fine because Ben Shapiro can go on there and get softball questions and do crash control. It's not even like a knock to Dave Rubin. I know he's just doing what he thinks he has to do in the space. But what are we actually talking about here?
I don't know. Like, at what point are people done with Daily Wire? That's my question.
There's no amount of Jordan Peterson's description is going to prop you up, Ben Shapiro, when you're a
Like,
lying piece of shit.
what's it going to take? Like, seriously, if you're watching at home and you have a Daily Wire subscription, like, what would it take? Like, what physical thing would have to happen for you to be like, I can't do it anymore?
And what's crazy is he's kind of got you in a bind because there really is no alternatives that do support your beliefs. So he even knows that if he skirts away and can kind of be tyrannical, you still kind of have to go to the altar of Ben to get like basically the spin of what you're looking for, I guess I'll say. Because
Well,
remember, they were remaking some of those Disney stories that were always popular when we were young. You know,
sure.
and they were saying this is the conservative, like the more traditional take on these various stories that are woke and all this stuff. And
Yeah, Daily Wire, no doubt, is doing some unique things in the space,
I applauded them for that, actually.
but ultimately they're not really there with you. That's the problem. And what I'm looking forward to is a guy like Patrick Bet David to really take his programming to the next level. So there's no need for Daily Wire. And interestingly enough, bringing up Patrick Bet David, I did notice Candace Owens at the Kentucky Derby was hanging out with some of the people in Patrick Bet David's company there. So I don't know. Maybe something's on the horizon there too. That would be pretty cool. I'd love to see her go to Patrick Bet David so he could have some good people and not Chris Cuomo.
Look, I'm sure Chris Cuomo's not always a douchebag. So,
I'd be surprised.
I'm just, it's hard to trust a family like that when New York has been ran by the mob for so long.
Mhm.
Like that's not disinformation, YouTube. Like I've been told in construction that the mob runs construction in Buffalo in the 80s. They just became corporate bosses. They're just not mob bosses anymore. They're just corporations now. It's still a mob.
Well, there actually was a lot of
Like
unique ties of mob mafia and like union leadership. So that was always interesting.
Yeah, when they say it's all politics.
I could be wrong, but wasn't Al Capone a union leader?
It's in what's the movie, The Irishman?
Yes.
I see with not Jack Nicholson. What's the guy that Trump's gonna round up and put in a white van?
De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro. He's in it. It's based on a book, The Irishman. But yeah, Al Pacino.
It's outstanding. It's like 4.5 hours long.
Plays the union boss that you're discussing, and he gets like caught swindling the money, and he has to talk everybody out of it that he didn't steal the money. It was for better needs and the typical shit. We didn't steal all your money, just like 90% of it. The Joker line in The Dark Knight when he lights that big pile of money on fire and the guy's face, he's like, "Don't be so upset. I only burned my half." You know, like some men just want to watch the world burn, David.
Maybe
He's
that's what.
such. The more that goes on with him, I'm so happy. Like he is such a scumbag. It just gets worse. And he took great people with great potential to change. He did this during election year, by the way. It's even more maniacal. He couldn't even hold out till after the election. He cares about the principle and the nation, but then he'll hand grenade any chance to get the information out to save the damn nation, and then say he's the main face of the largest conservative group growing. Yeah, because you're chopping everybody else's legs off. Of course, you're going to be the largest growing thing if you're the only thing growing, and then use it as ad revenue generator. That 180 IQ, and I still want to punch him in the face.
So if it's nothing that Ben Shapiro can do specifically that would make you cancel your subscription, is it going to take somebody like Patrick Bet-David to give you an equivalent, to give you an alternative to the alternative? Because that's what Daily Wire is supposed to be, is the alternative, and they're not.
Yeah, I think what we're realizing is like there's a certain level of ego associated with like when you get to a certain level in the space. Honestly, I think like we're probably privy to it at some point. You know, like Alex Jones predicting 9/11. Like that's a prime example of like if you predict 9/11, like how do you don't go back from there?
No,
like, you don't go
just
back. Yeah, that's
no, but also they had said was it Tucker that said the prediction that he's just a prophet or whatever? I don't think it was that. I think Alex Jones knew. I mean, he was just watching Alex Jones himself will tell you, like, I just read all the documentation, right? Like, he would just go through and read like these hundreds of page long things, and he was smart enough to pick it out
right, but pattern
what the red flags
recognition
were.
isn't. You can't teach pattern recognition, which is why I think Tucker's loose word of prophet is kind of correct, because you have to have a certain level of intelligence, creativity, ADHD. He's probably partially retarded. Like that might actually like him. Like seriously, like it might just take enough raw ingredients and a good couple whacks in the head to even be able to think outside the box enough to predict something that's crazy, which in a way is magic and a
photographic memory.
Yeah, and prophecy. Like Alex already had all those things, plus the willingness to speak out, plus like it's like the amount. It's not even additions at that point. It's like the things that have to go with each other are more like multipliers. Like because he's right place, right time about the right topic and the right. Like he said a lot of stuff. Believe me, Alex Jones been a lot wrong. He's also been incredibly right. I heard about glyphosates and plastics 15 years ago. So, but the point is still like it's not like I kind of I know what you mean, David, about the profit thing. Like I think I told you guys that I think artists are prophets, and that's just simply based on loose definition that an artist takes things that aren't seen and make them seeable. That's magic. It's literal magic. Art, creating a building out of nothing is magic. There was nothing there. There's now a building there. Is magic. I don't care if it's Chick-fil-A or a Roman Coliseum. It's magic. Like creativity is magic. It doesn't exist. It only exists in our mind until we make it reality. That's witchcraft. That's prophecy. That's, I won't ever call myself a prophet, but I am creative and artistic. But we predicted World War III. And it's the same thing like you said, Dave. It's not even that hard if you pay attention. But maybe it's just recognizing certain patterns when you pay attention. Like there might have to be prerequisites to even make it possible, to even be in the place to be prophetic. So I know I just monologued. I'm sorry, but it's just been very interesting.
That all can make sense, right?
What graph is that? It's Grant Cardone, my man, dude. Grant is just incredible.
Stock market's due for a 50% correction, according to Grant.
That's probably fine, David. Half of everything ain't so bad. Sounds like a depression, David.
Ryan, I don't know. I think it's. Do you have a record? Do you have a record? I think it's time for a record. If not, we're gonna scroll.
All I got for a record is this entertainment. To be honest with you,
you want to scroll the X for a few minutes? Let's see what we got.
We can do that.
National Review sucks. I think National Review was a Bill Kristol thing. I could be wrong.
Yo, me sending that article about running your car into the ground was good though.
Gotta love X.
Hey. Who is that? Is that the guy? Is that the tranny? I should be very careful about.
I have no fucking idea.
No, what's her name? Blair White.
Oh no, this is just some random.
Some thought.
Yeah, no, it's just fucking X. It's literally like the algorithm like kind of works because it's like tons of political posts because that's all I scroll through on X, and then it's just every once in a while.
Some
Sure.
ass. I'll take it.
Oh, Nick Fuentes. We didn't really mention that, but he is reinstated on the X. Nick Fuentes as
I don't even know who that is.
he got banned. He's
that the Nazi guy?
I don't know. Do you want to call him a provocateur? I guess that could be the easiest thing to. He's I don't know. He's kind of just like a MAGA dude. I don't know. He doesn't seem that crazy to me. He goes on the X and says things like "Christ is King" and "America first." I don't know. He doesn't seem that bad to me. I don't understand.
Clearly disinformation. Are we gonna forget about microplastics and everything and just keep driving to work tomorrow? Yo, I gotta tell you guys, I'm just gonna entertainment get the hell out of here. As much as I like your ex rolling, dude, David, you need to go listen to the Kendrick Lamar disses to Drake.
Mm.
They're exceptional. Like, dude, I listened to them today. I was sweating. They were so intense. Kendrick Lamar calls him a pedophile, gay, a trans. Like, dude, just fucking melts him. And he just. And there's another diss track. Drake dropped one, and then it's what a time to be a hip hop fan.
Wait, hold on. What's the thing about the 11-year-old daughter that's like got everyone up in arms?
Yeah, he lied about his daughter. That's dude. It's all in the one. There's three.
I think Drake didn't Drake come out and say if somebody can find my 11-year-old daughter, I will retire today.
Dude, the whole
That's pretty
thing,
strong.
The whole thing, dude. The one song Kendrick addresses his son Adonis, and the last bar in the verse is, "I know you don't understand any of this, so replay this when you're 18." And it's just about him, how his dad ain't shit, and how he's just weak-willed, and he uses women, and is an abuser, and loves the gamble, and is a pillhead. And dude, it's and I told somebody that's like, I don't even care about celebrityism. I care about hip hop like it's a sport to me. Like I love, like it's one of my oldest addictions is rap and to Eminem and early hip hop, and like to see it go through the ebbs and flows. It's not as popular as it was a few years ago. It's becoming more of a niche again, like it was when we were younger, and it's just very cool to watch it all. But dude, billionaires and millionaires aren't at each other's throats calling each other pedophiles and everything, and all this shit getting exposed by you raping children and Justin Bieber and all the Nickelodeon and Epstein Island. All this shit don't happen all in the same year. Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay. I came on and told you guys to go watch that podcast because he said he is establishing that 2024 is the vestige, the year of truth, and everything will be revealed. And here we are. The biggest Michael Jackson of our time just got ripped apart in a rap beef. And not only is it just a rap beef, but it's lyrically awesome. Like if you actually like the sport of hip hop and study lyricism and study double and triple entendres and deep metaphors and symbolism and all the things I draw out of hip hop, why it's always been appealing to me is like it's always it's constant interpretation. The same saying takes realize to realize. Like it's just unlimited interpretation. Like straightforward words are cool and sayings are cool, but to be able to reinterpret the same bar set 5 times over 5 different years it only happens in like the Bible or very well written literature that has vast spans. And that's the other thing that a lot of hip hop snaps into itself. Like there's references across movies, and it's endless, which is what makes it such a cool thing to experience when there's this level of high. And honestly, like I've never been a Kendrick fan. Like literally, I've never really listened to his music other than the mainline hits. And so to like even study him and like delve into him, I was looking up the lyrics and kind of going down my normal dorky hip hop routes, and like it's like I got to experience all artists in a whole new way based around something that like is just so silly. It's just 2 grown millionaires talking shit about each other, but like once again, the bar sets, the way they say it, the words, the entendres, the rap beef, the street beef, him being this, the insults, you know, it's just cool. Like, dude, this don't happen. This never happens. Never ever. And I don't know. I enjoy that shit. Like, I don't enjoy families getting ripped apart and all this stuff. And I came on a few weeks ago and said J. Cole backed out. And this is why. Dude, because it was, like, intense. And once again, to see that high level of art being performed and being aimed at such visceral shit, it's like...
I don't think, though, like, you wouldn't be able to have that kind of song against J. Cole.
Well,
I just don't think he does any. Like, he just...
It's hard to dog a guy that wears sweatpants and rides a bicycle around a city that he can afford, like, a Ferrari in.
What I'm saying, the guy's just there. He just exists, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And the thing is with this rap beef, dude, I missed 3 songs. It was 2 Kendrick songs and a Drake disc. So I had to listen to Kendrick, Drake, Kendrick to get in chronological order because I already listened to the other 3 songs. And then there's 2 more now. So, like, I'm investing time in this. This is crazy. I feel like I'm 15. I don't care about celebrityism, but this thing, hip hop's always a capture. Once again, it's always captured my attention because of that constant repetition of reinterpretation. Like, the ability to read and have the same song, and songs always do that. Good songs always change over time, but, like, the lyrics, they're literally, hip hop is designed to have metaphors and symbolism baked into its structure. Its main structure is metaphors. It is symbolism, and that's not the case in all genres. So just so elaborate sometimes. And Kendrick is very good at that, which I always knew. I always knew he was top tier, but to hear him call, like, the top celebrity of our time, all these, dude, it's just...
You'll have to send me an order what everything is. Because
You
I'm
haven't
coming
heard
in late.
Donovan,
I don't know. No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, I'll send you the order. I'll send you the order, dude. I even send you the J. Cole order, bro, because it's like when J. Cole came out, and then J. Cole said, I'm not doing this. And then there was, yeah.
Wait, so did he basically just do one and bounce?
Yeah, he did one on the mixtape, and basically when you listen to it, it's kind of like he didn't plan on releasing it, but Kendrick made a shot to him and Drake on a song, so he kind of was like, all right, I'm fucking putting my head in here. And then right after that album, his mixtape drop, Might Delete Later, it's called, the album. He came out like a day or two later on stage and said, yeah, I don't want no beef with anybody. Like, I got shit to do. Like,
time for this.
And then there's just been smoke, dude. Fucking rap smoke, because it's fire, dude. It is like, it's like Pac Biggie shit, dude. Literally. You don't.
Well, that's not good. Historically speaking, that's not.
Yeah,
great.
but I know you just don't get it. So enjoy the shit, because you know what? The fans are the only one winning. We're watching families get ripped up. There's some visceral hatred. How much hatred? He said Drake runs with ghostwriters that are all pedophiles and fuck their kids. Like, do you see a common thread here, people, in the 2024 unscheming of the top elitists raping Justin Bieber? I said this about the Nickelodeon thing, and I'll get out of here. What was the Nickelodeon documentary that came out?
I don't remember what it was called.
But you know what I'm talking about, when they
it's
quiet on the set or something?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Ooh, look at me, photographic. I don't even watch documentaries, David. Fucking genius. You know what the real shame is? All the people that were sitting at home watching that, feeling all bad for that kid and all that. You guys all supported it. You all went and watched it. Do you know, like, the pedophiles in Hollywood's been a thing for 20 years? The information's been out there. No one just wanted. Kevin has the book. We did the show on adrenochrome.
Oh, 2 episodes. Whew.
God, talk about getting mad. We did the shows on adrenochrome. Like, he actually told you. He told you CIA projects and fucking mind. It's there. And everybody supported it. And then you feel bad for the dude? You made a bunch of child molesters richer than ever and gave them everything they ever wanted. But then you're going to feel bad for the kid and not dumb that you were conned into supporting a fucking system that was literally raping children. But I'm told I spread disinformation, David. Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on wherever. As always, David, I appreciate you for your time the most, and everybody else. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
It's Ryan. It's 4 places. It's 4. It's Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, X. But really, it's just Rumble.
Just Rumble. It's the only one that Dave gives me a check from. So as long as I keep getting paid.
Well, that's not true.
All right, love you long time.
Thanks,
Yo,
everyone.
go. I'll send you the rap beef links, dude. It's creme de la creme. I love watching Drake get his flowers burned. It's beautiful. All right, I'm going. Love you.
Thanks, everyone.
Later.